Hi, we'll be looking at calculations involving standard form. So we are going directly into the calculations of standard form on the basis that we have an adequate knowledge on standard form. So in the JS1, JS2 videos, we have dealt extensively with standard form. So if we have not done that, then we should be able to watch the video before looking at this particular video. So now to walk through this, we start with addition involving a standard form. And we have an example where to calculate this expression. Then in this kind of situation, the knowledge we have gathered so far on factorization will help us, or really will guide us to walk through this particular problem. So we have 2.4 times 10 cubed, then plus 1.3 times 10 cubed. So this is what we have. Then, if you look at this expression now, something is common to both. You see that this one has 10 cubed, this one has 10 cubed. Okay, so you can bring out the common factor. So now we can write this as follows. So 10 cubed is common. So we bring out the common factor. Then remember that whenever you bring out the common factor, you open a bracket. So now what we should have inside the bracket is this 2.4. So we have 2.4. Now combined, remember that this multiplication you are seeing has been taken over by this bracket. Remember that when you have a bracket, you're also talking about multiplication. So you don't expect me to write the multiplication again. So now what comes in now becomes plus, so the central plus. This plus is what is connecting the two expressions, or the two parts of this expression. So you now have plus. Now, this one, what remains now is 1.3. So you have your 1.3. So now we have now 10 cubed. So the next thing is to add up. So we look at 2.4 plus 1.3. You can do it by the side, 2.4 plus 1.3. So when you do this addition, 4 plus 3 gives us 7, put your point. 2 plus 1 gives us 3. So this becomes 3.7. Now, that's what we have. But we recall we are working in standard form. So to put it in the original form, that is in the standard form, we will see this thing. The bracket now becomes multiplication. So you have this. So you change it to multiplication. So this is the same thing as saying 3.7 times 10 cubed. And that's what we have. So now our knowledge on factorization has helped us to walk through this calculation. That's what we have as the final result. So let's advance a little bit in this issue. Now we are to calculate this expression. So we have 5.4 times 10 cubed plus 3.2 times 10 raised to power 4. So now to handle this now, supposing we want to go by that idea of using factorization, but we have a little problem. Here you have 10 cubed, here you have 10 raised to power 4. So what we will do, to be able to use the factorization method, we have to make the index of each of them to be the same. So let's see if we can attack this one, if we can see a way of reducing it to 3. So let's see. But we recall the lot of indices. You know that 10, this 10 raised to power 4, if you want, you can split it. Somebody can write it as 10 cubed, okay, times 10 raised to power 1. You know the lot of additional lot of indices, that this is the same thing. They have the same base 10. Here is 3 plus 1, which gives you back the same 10 raised to power 4. So they are the same thing. But we want to work with the other version of it. So let's look at this in this form. Okay, so let's look at it in that form. So if we look at 10 raised to power 4 being equals to 10 cubed times 10 raised to power 1, so we can have this as 5.4 times 10 cubed. So on this side we don't have a problem because it's 10 cubed. Then here we can now write here 3.2 times, let's say, 10 raised to power 1 times 10 cubed. They are the same thing. If you write 10 raised to power 3 first, before you write 10 raised to power 1, it's still the same thing as writing 10 raised to power 1 first, before 10 raised to power 3. They're all the same because we are in a multiplication. So, here I have 5.4 times 10 cubed. Now we have our plus. Now what happens here? You remember that here 3.2 times 10 raised to power 1. Any number raised to power 1 is that a number itself. So if you have 10 raised to power 1, it's something as 10. Okay? That means we can write 3.2 times 10 raised to power 1 as simply 3.2 times 10. Now times 10 cubed. So this will give us 5.4 times 10 cubed. 3.2 times 10 is what? It's just like moving the point. So this will just give you ordinary 32. Okay? You know that here, if we have 3.2 times 10, what it means is it's just like moving the point. So this is equals to 32, which is 32. Okay? So this is now 32. Now times 10 cubed. So at this point, everything is okay because we now have a common power. So we have a common index. So this and this has become the same. So you can bring out the common factor. So once you bring out the common factor, this is 10 cubed. So what remains now? What remains is this 5.4. So you have your 5.4 plus here you have your 32. So here you have 32 remaining. So you have plus 32. So at the end of the day, what do we have? So what we have is this. So this is 10 cubed. Then bracket. So if you add up here, you have 5.4 plus 32. That will give us 37.4. So you have 37.4. So this will give us, so you remove the bracket. So this is like 37.4 times 10 cubed. But this one is not properly in a standard form. Remember that the standard form is between 1 and 9. So this one, this 37, has to be less than 10. Rather, what we have here is above 10. So in standard form, you have to ensure that what you have, like the standard way is a times 10 raised to power n, where a is less than 10. Okay, so this one, so our a is 37.4, we have to make it to be less than 10. So what do we do to make it less than 10? We have to divide it by 10. So now, 37.4, if you divide it by 10, dividing by 10 is just like moving this point here. So this will give you 3.74. And 3.74 is less than 10. So that means we are dividing by 10. So if you divide here by 10, you have to multiply here by 10. In order to understand what we are saying, like here, at this point, you are dividing by 10, okay? You are dividing here by 10 so that we have something less than 10. But if you don't multiply here by 10, you are changing the whole thing. Look at what we are doing. So we'll go to the other side and write it clearly. What I'm doing in actual fact is this. I want to write 37.4 in another way. So this 37.4, I can write this as this 37.4 divided by 10 times 10. You know, this thing is still the same thing because supposing I say let my 10 cancel this 10, I'll go back to the original thing. So the two expressions are the same. Okay, if they are the same and I don't want to cancel, so supposing I don't want to cancel, what am I going to have? So you see that here, if I divide by 10, for instance, if you divide here by 10, this will give us, moving the point this way, so this will give us 3.74. So it has taken away this 10. Then this times 10, you now still have here your times 10. So that's actually the essence of multiplying here by 10 and dividing here by 10. Okay. So with that being the case now, so let's write it. So we have times 10 cubed. So here, you divide here by 10, and here you multiply by 10. So the whole thing will give us, remember that 10 could be written as 10 raised to power 1, if you want. Then here, once you divide by 10, you have 3.74. Now times here, they have the same base, you have 3 plus 1. So you have times 10. This is 3 plus 1. So this will give you 3.74 times 10. So 3 plus 1 gives you 4. And that's what we have as the final result. Okay, so that is your standard form.